Good morning and welcome to Exposure Box, Ealing's video channel. My name's Eric Leach. It's the morning of December the 9th, 2019, and in this video we'll be looking at the history and the issues surrounding Ealing Council's attempt to give away Victoria Hall to the hotel operator Masscraft for 250 years. In 1888, our splendid Victorian Gothic Ealing Town Hall opened its doors for civic use. The architect was Charles Jones, who was responsible for designing much of Victorian Ealing. Sited just behind the town hall is the Victoria Hall, which was built using money donated by the public. Charles Jones was again the architect. The £4,000 raised represents £584,000 in today's money. In 1893, a charity was formed by local worthies to manage the hall, as well as the Prince's Hall, which was situated underneath, and some associated rooms. The charity is called Victoria Hall Trust. The founding trustees of the trust were the 12 members of the local board for the district of Ealing. Lettings were to be for meetings, entertainment, balls, bazaars, and other gatherings, whether social or political. Net proceeds were to be spent amongst any local charities, philanthropic or charitable institutions. Victoria Hall is by far the largest publicly available function room in Ealing. Ealing users over the years have included many different ethnic and religious groups, music festivals, political gatherings, NHS activists, film clubs, women's groups, planning and employment events. Ealing Town Hall, including Victoria Hall, is Grade 2 listed. In 2014, Ealing Council said it could no longer afford to maintain Ealing Town Hall and planned to dispose of it. In 2016, the council announced it would dispose of the town hall on a 250-year lease to a hotel operator called Masscraft for use as a 5-star hotel. Masscraft wants to convert Victoria Hall into an upmarket wedding venue and the Prince's Hall into a health and fitness club. In 2019, the Council Planning Committee approved a planning application permitting Masscraft to build a 7-storey extension at the back of the building after demolishing one bay of Victoria Hall. However, in 2017, local residents objected that the council had no right to dispose of Victoria Hall, Prince's Halls and the other rooms, as they didn't belong to them. Having been paid for by charitable donations, residents said they belonged to the trust set up to manage them. Realising there was a problem, Ealing Council decided to refer the matter to the Charity Commission, which oversees charities in the UK. It told the Commission that the original objects of the charity should be changed to allow the disposal to proceed. In recent years, the trust has been governed by the 9 members of the Ealing Council General Purposes Committee. To support its case, the council lawyers said that Victoria Hall would still be hired by local people and they would swap the Prince's Hall for Queen's Hall, a much smaller hall, below the council chamber. A community use covenant would allow local groups to hire these rooms at reduced rates at off-peak periods, but not at weekends. Use by local groups would be entirely in Masscraft's control, with the trust beneficiaries having no say. After 10 years, the whole deal would be renegotiated. However, there's no confidence that Masscraft and Ealing Council would continue to allow the halls to be available for use by residents at affordable rates. Save Ealing Centre, SEC, an established alliance of 26 local residents and community groups, argued that these plans are not in the interests of the trust, and it hired the top charity lawyers in the country, Bates, Wells and Braithwaite, to help it prosecute its case against Victoria Hall Trust. SEC says that while the disposal of the trust property may help shore up the council's finances, it is completely at odds with the aims of the trust and all those who donated to it. The original aims were to provide a place for the borough residents to meet for different events. The problems arose because, as trustee, the council has mismanaged the trust for decades. The council has never registered the trust, despite repeated requests by the Charity Commission. Council lawyers initially wrongly declared the trust was moribund. The trust has failed to prepare accounts for over many years. No current or recent historic plan or strategy for the public use of the trust property has ever been created, and there have been no budgets. There has been no recognition or engagement with the trust beneficiaries. And remember, the beneficiaries are the residents of Ealing. The trust has failed to ensure and demonstrate that net contributions for Victoria Hall lettings have been used for purposes consistent with the objects of the trust. In short, the council has been running the trust activity as if it owned them. As a result, the council has confused its interests with those of the trust beneficiaries. A range of measures are urgently needed. The trust must be registered with the Charity Commission. The council should be replaced as the trustee and independent trustees appointed. The property of the trust must be accurately documented. Independent and independently audited accounts must be produced annually. A detailed costed list of works and a maintenance plan for Victoria Hall, Prince's Hall and all associated rooms must be prepared. In September 2019, with still no decision emanated from the Charity Commission, 7 well-established Ealing residents and community groups formed the Friends of the Victoria Hall. Its mission is to prevent Victoria Hall Trust and Ealing Council disposing of Victoria Hall and to maintain it in perpetuity for affordable use by the residents of Ealing. I'm Vice Chair of West Ealing Neighbours, formed in 2005, and we are one of this gang of 7. In November 2019, the Friends of the Victoria Hall became a registered charity. In November 2019, the Charity Commission wrote to the Friends saying that it was minded to allow the Victoria Hall Trust to dispose of Victoria Hall. On the 27th of November, Ealing Council listed an Ealing Town Hall Victoria Hall consultation on its current consultations webpage. The main document published here is the Council's commentary on the Charity Commission's scheme to facilitate Victoria Hall being handed over to Masscraft for 250 years. The Council has intentionally or incompetently produced a document which is very unhelpful. It paints a confusing picture of the changes to the charity's objects from the Ealing Council perspective, as opposed from the perspective of the charity's beneficiaries, in other words, the citizens of Ealing. The Commission scheme can be viewed on the Charity Commission's website. At first glance, it clearly looks like the Commission has accepted all information from the Victoria Hall Trust and Ealing Council as true. The serious incident report of 17th October 2019 to the Commission has not been taken into account. The appointment of Masscraft's nominated tenant, Shua Yogi, as an agent for the charitable trust appears to be inappropriate. The interests of the charity and the hotel could well be in direct conflict. The provisions for the affordable community use, maintenance, decoration and the involvement of beneficiaries are all weak. The deadline for submitting comments to the Charity Commission to the scheme was originally a quite ludicrous 27th of December 2019. The Friends asked for an extension and there was grudgingly given one till the 6th of January. Over the next few days, the Friends will be publishing its more complete comments on how Ealing residents who oppose the Commission's proposed changes can best respond. Please help the Friends to oppose the disposal of Victoria Hall. On the Exposure Box site you will find how you can join us and provide financial help. You will also find details of how you might formally object to the Charity Commission scheme. The Friends are now fundraising in order to continue using SEC specialist lawyers. One of our friends is the Ealing Theatre Company, A Wonderful Adventure, who are performing a Christmas play for children on the 25th of December. The company is donating all the proceeds to the Friends. Starting at 5 p.m, 'twas the night before Christmas, is a treat for 3 to 10-year-olds, taking place at the Polygon, St Mary's Church, St Mary's Road, Ealing. Tickets at £5 each are still available. You can text, phone or access the show's website. Details again on the Exposure Box website. Please help save Victoria Hall. Thank you very much for watching Exposure Box and join us again soon.